All right, so here we go with Unit 5 test review, solving systems of linear inequalities. So the first one is called a simple inequality because there's only one variable. So we want to solve for x. So we're going to get our x's on the left. So x over 5 is the same thing as 1/5 x. So we're going to subtract 1/5 x from both sides. All right, so we're going to cross that out. 2/3 minus 1/5. I'm going to come to the side and do some side work here. 2/3 minus 1/5. I need to get a common denominator. Common between 3 and 5 is 15. So I'm going to multiply this one by 5. So I get 10 over 15. I'm going to multiply this one by 3. So I get 3 over 15. Now I can subtract. 10 minus 3 is 7/15. So bringing that back into my equation, that gave me 7/15 x. Bring down what I didn't use, minus 1 less than 2/5. Okay, so now we're going to get our constant over there to the right side. So to get rid of a -1, I add 1. So I bring this down, cross them out. 7/15 x is less than, got to do some side work again. So 2/5 plus 1 means that I need to make that a fraction. Common denominator between 5 and 1 is 5. Do not have to change him. He's already 5. But if I multiply that one by 5, I get 5/5. 2/5 plus 5/5 gives me 7/5. So bring that back into my equation. All right, to get rid of a fraction that is stuck to an x, you multiply by his reciprocal. Reciprocal means the flip. So the flip is 15 over 7. Okay, so these cross away. X falls down. Less than falls down. 7, you can do this two ways. You can multiply top times top, bottom times bottom, and then simplify. Or you can do a cross cancel. So this 7 cancels with this 7. You're left with 15 over 5. Well, that's just 3. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So x is less than 3 is your answer. All right, and then we'll put it on our number line. Okay, this is a just less than symbol. Less than means open circle, and less than also means shade to the left. All right, number 2, write an inequality that represents 2/3 of a number. So 2/3 x, because we don't know what that number is. Decreased by, that means to subtract, 4. Is greater than or equal to, so that's this way, 20. And that's all you have to do. You do not have to solve that one. Number 3, James is raking leaves for $9 an hour. He wants to buy a truck. He already has $1,500 saved up, but the truck he wants costs at least, very important, at least. So I'm working $9 an hour. So $9 x, $9 per hour means to multiply. But I already have $1,500. So I'm going to add that to what I make an hour. But my truck costs at least. At least means I'm going to have to save this much money or more. I cannot save less than that or I can't buy the truck. So at least means greater than or equal to, and then 5,850. And then it says, how many hours will James have to work to be able to pay for the truck? So that means you got to solve. So to solve the equation, I subtract 1,500. That gets me 9x is greater than or equal to 4,350. And then to get x by itself, I divide both sides by 9. And x is greater than or equal to, and I get a decimal on this one, 483.3. Okay, so you can't really work 483.3 hours. So if he wants to buy this truck, he's going to have to work over the 0.3, which means this is going to round up to 484. So your sentence will say, James needs to work at least, there's that inequality again, at least 484 hours to be able to buy the truck. Okay. All right, number 4, using the graph, write a system of inequalities. So that means you need to write an equation for the red line and the blue line. And I know it's kind of hard to see on your test review, so this video will help you see actually that the blue line is dotted. So to write an inequality for the red line. So first of all, I know that it's going to be an equal to because it's a solid line, and it's going to be greater than because it's shaded above. So I know it's greater than or equal to. All right, it's real easy to see the y-intercept. I know that it crosses the y-axis at 4, so I know I'm going to have a +4 out back. So the hard one to find is the slope. So I need to find 2 pretty points. So that's a pretty point. Here's another pretty point. So if I count the slope, I went up to right 1. So up to right 1 means my slope is 2. All right, for the blue line, I know that it's going to be less than because it's shaded below, and it's just going to be less than because it's a dotted line. And again, this one crosses the y-axis at 4, so I know my y-intercept is going to be 4. So now let's count the slope. I've got a pretty point here and a pretty point here, so that means go up 1, right 2. So if I go up 1, right 2, my slope is 1/2. All right, circle the ordered pairs that are solutions. So remember, solutions to systems is where the colors overlap. So the only solutions are this kind of purpley color. So 0, 3 would be here. That is not a solution because it fell in just the blue. -2, 2. -2, 2. Yep, that's one. -4, 0. Yep, that's one. 2, 6. So 2, 6. Definitely no on 2, 6 because it's in neither one of their answers. -4, 4. -4, 4. Nope, that was only an answer to the red line. -2.5 and 1.5. So -2.5, 1.5. Yes. 0, -4. So 0, -4. Oh, that would be way down here. So definitely not. Okay. 2, 2. Nope, that's only in the blue. -2, 3 would be right here. Okay, so let's talk about him. He is on a line, but he's on a dotted line. That means you are not included. And then -2, 0. Okay, he is on a line as well, but he's on a solid line. So he counts. So the only ones that are solutions are the ones that are circled. All right, number 5, graph the following. So this guy right here is not in slope-intercept form. So we have to bring him down here, solve him for y. So subtract the 4x from both sides. Can't take a 4x from a 2, so I get -4x plus 2. So my slope is -4, and my y-intercept is 2. So I go to 2, and then I go down 4, right 1. It is just a less than symbol, so just less than means a dotted line. And then I want to draw my arrows for less than means I shade below, so I'm going to point my 2 arrows below. All right, second equation. This is the one that we've talked about is the easiest one you'll ever graph because all it is you go to the y-axis, you go to -2. That's all you do. And it creates a horizontal line. It's a greater than, so that means it's going to be a dotted horizontal line. Okay, and greater than means you shade above. And then you can now finally shade, and you're going to shade where the 2 arrows are pointing at each other, which is right here. Okay, all right, number 6, same thing, graph the inequality. So this fella right here is already in slope-intercept form. His slope is 2, and his y-intercept is 4. So I go to my y-intercept of 4. I do not have room to go up to right 1, so I go down to left 1. Okay, he is a greater than symbol only. So dotted line, and greater than means to shade up, so I'm going to point 2 arrows up. Blue line, or second line, he is not in slope-intercept form, so we have to solve him for y. So we will start by moving our x to y is greater than or equal to. Bring down your x, bring down your -2. Get y by itself, so you're going to divide both sides by 2. -6/2 is giving me a -3, and -2/2 is a -1. So my slope is -3, and my y-intercept is -1. So I go to -1 and down 3, right 1, or up 3, left 1. He is an equal to, so that means solid line. And greater than means you shade up. And you will shade where the two lines are pointing at each other. Okay. All right, number 7. Both of them are in slope-intercept form already, so that's easy. So first line is slope of -2, y-intercept of 1. So I'll go to 1, down to right 1, or up to left 1. He is an greater than or equal to, so that means solid line. And greater than means you shade up, so I'm going to point 2 arrows up. Second line, y-intercept is 5, slope is -2, so I'm going to y-intercept first, down to right 1. And he is a less than symbol only, so that's a dotted line. And less than means to go down. And even though these are parallel lines, they do have solutions because the arrows are pointed at each other. Okay. All right, number 8. Suppose you have a job mowing lawns that pays $12 per hour. You also have a job cleaning a store at a clothing store that pays $10 an hour. And you need at least $350 per week. All right. You cannot work no more than 40 hours, and you must work a minimum of 10 hours at the clothing store. So we got a lot of stuff going on here. So first thing is, I need to write one inequality about the money that I make. So they already told us that they want the X to be mowing lawns, and they want the Y to be working at the clothing store. So here we go. If I get $12 an hour mowing lawns, that would be 12X. If I get $10 for working at the clothing store, that would be 10Y. But I need to earn at least. At least is greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to $350. Okay. Second thing is, you can work no more than 40 hours a week. Now that is the lawns and the clothing store combined. No matter which one you're doing, you cannot go over 40 hours. So if that means I put my mowing lawns together with my working at the clothing store, no more than is less than or equal to. So no more than 40 hours. Another inequality that you have is you must work a minimum of 10 hours at the clothing store. So the clothing store was Y. So at the clothing store, your minimum is 10. So that means you have to work over that. So greater than or equal to 10.